Alrighty, last video of the day, I promise. Well, I kind of talked a little bit in some of my shorts about like a cage trap and a dispatch pole, right? There are two separate shorts. I'm hoping that you managed to make it to this video if you watch those shorts. So what I'm talking about is really two-part, right? So I'll set that down, I'll explain it. So the first is a dispatch pole, right? And what the dispatch pole does is it's got a little trigger. It looks like a caulk gun. You can also pull back this set lever and get a quick adjustment, right? Like if you've got something inside of a trap and then you squeeze in order to make it tighter. Really awesome tool. It does not usually have any kind of coating on the end of this. So this is a dispatch pole. It is designed to kill an animal. And you might ask, why would I want to use that? Well, so the reason is like if you're like me, I cannot have a gun at work at all, like period. Can't have it on my person, can't have it in my truck, can't even have bullets in the truck. So that's not a gun, which means I can go check my traps before work or immediately after work. I don't have to go home, change, grab a gun, and then go. I can just get off work, go, check my traps, do my business, and then go home. Or do it before work, then go to work. If you're trapping on public land, honestly, you really should check your traps in the morning. It's a better practice. People don't like trapping. The people who are indifferent don't want to know what's happening. They don't want to see you walking around. They don't want to see you dispatching animals. If you can do it between 4 and 6 o'clock in the morning before anyone gets there, that's considered optimal. Now, another thing I have that I recently acquired and that I like a lot is a catch pole. So I got this from Caging Bobcats. Look them up on Facebook. Hit them up online. It's Cajun Bobcats. The guy's name is Mercer Lawler. I think I'm saying that right. And incredible tool. So what he does is he modifies them on the back so you can actually get a good grip. These are coated. And so the reason I like to keep this is if I have an incidental catch, whereas the choke pole, the dispatch pole will cause damage to the animals. I mean, it just absolutely will cause damage to the animals. It's not a coated cable. They can really do some damage to themselves just handling them in the dispatch pole. So this is coated. Obviously, this one's only 3 foot because I can only carry so much stuff with me in the woods, right? So what I'll do a lot of the times, if I'm pretty confident I don't have anything in the traps, I'll just take this because it can double as both and it's smaller. And then if I realize I need something a little bit bigger, I'll take my dispatch pole. They're bigger, they're heavier, they give a little bit more standoff distance. This is only 3 foot, and it'll get a little squirrely on you. But the thing I like about this is you pull it, right, it shortens the loop, and now you can get the animal in the loop. You can have control of them, whatever. And then when you want to release them, you just lift up on the back, and it spring loads and makes the loop bigger. Now they make these that are quick disconnect, and they do completely detach from the end here. Hold on, let's make sure that this isn't one of them. And it is not. But if you get one of those, it's a twist, and it'll release the end of the pole. And they're really handy for letting it go. Again, this one is double for me. It does 2 things, so I don't want it to be able to do that, and that's why I like this one. Again, so these are modified. You can get them from CajunBobcats.com. He's got, I think, the 3, 4, and 5 foot versions, and the guy is absolutely awesome. If you hit him up on Facebook, like what I did, so he used this in demos because he goes around and teaches people how to set up cage traps to catch bobcats in. And so this one was used for demos, and I got it for a whole heck of a lot cheaper than I could get a new one, and it already came with the piece of PVC pipe mounted on the end. I didn't have to mess with it. He swedge locks these in place. I'll see if, yep, there we go. And so I didn't have to deal with any of that. And it's really nice. And it was only used for demos. It was used for a couple of weeks. And I got it for less than half of what they normally sell for. So I really encourage you to hit him up. Look out for him. Awesome guy. Very reasonable. Easy to work with. Real easy to do business with. Again, that's CajunBobcats.com. And then we already talked about the dispatch pole. We talked about the catch pole. So those are really the only 2 things that I wanted to talk about specifically for the dispatch and the catch pole. They allow you to do stuff you can't normally do. In that, like if you work any kind of an installation where you're not allowed to have firearms on you, you can't have any kind of a weapon. They're not a weapon. It's a pole with a rope. I mean, if you've got a gun rack on your truck, leave it in the gun rack. I leave mine behind the seat. I leave them in the back seat. Went on and off, going through security every day. Nobody said a word to me in the 3 months that they stayed in the back seat of my truck. I mean, you might have a guard be like, "Hey man, what's that?" Oh yeah, no, that's my catch pole. That's my dispatch pole. I'm a trapper. All right, and then most of the time they're like, "Oh, okay, cool." And I actually got a couple people into it that way. So they're neat. They're different looking. But again, so that's just what works for me, and it is legal where I am to use these. Okay. One of the things you've got to look out for is some states have requirements on how you must dispatch an animal, and I am not saying to go against those requirements. What I am saying is if you're in a state that will allow you to use a choke pole or a dispatch pole or a catch pole or whatever you want to call it, whatever name you get, whatever brand you get, they're great tools, especially if you find yourself in a situation where you can't have a gun with you in your vehicle. Now, like, do I like walking through the woods, going after, coyotes or whatever else may be in my traps without a firearm? Absolutely not. But in order to legally check my traps every 24 hours and not exhaust myself, not have to run all over creation in order to make it to work on time, this allows me to do that in a very easy and controllable manner. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, stay safe and good luck to you this season.